Okay, so let's talk about delays. Delays are there in the same sense as reverbs to help provide space. Sometimes they're there to help give additional ear candy and echoes, and we use delays all the time. There are a few different kinds of delays that we like to use. You'll hear things like a quarter note delay or an eighth note delay, and that is all. The only thing with what they're implying or talking about is if your song is 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, then the quarter note would be 1, 2, 3, 4, and eighth is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So da 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 da, or da 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 da, quarter note, eighth note, so on and so forth. Then they have triplets, etc. But again, we're not going to get too crazy with it today. And then they also have something called a slap delay, which is really, really short. So, and those are great because they can help thicken up a vocal and its sound without really sounding super delay-y. So you're not hearing it go all across. It's almost like a mono thing, but it's just a really short delay. So I want to look at that first, and then we'll look at kind of the cooler bouncing around delay example. So here we are, same spot, same section of the song, and we're going to bring in that Echo Boy, which we have on bus 7. Same thing, we're sending a pretty healthy amount. It's at -12, and then we're just going to kind of start bringing it in. What I want to do is kind of, again, overcook it so you can hear what it sounds like, and then I'll back it off.
All the songs on the radio say you better leave him cold, and I hear them everywhere I go.
So again, super subtle. So subtle that I'm almost going above 0, so let me just give it a little bit more. Let's send about, let's go all the way to 5. Let's get crazy.
All the songs on the radio say.
There it is. That's the sound. Look at Echo Boy. This is from the company, again, obviously I'm a fan of everybody, but Soundtoys, oh my gosh, what a great company. And they make some fabulous plugins. But Echo Boy has probably been their shining star for a minute now, and you can do every kind of delay you'd ever want to possibly could hope for. But today we're using it in its slap capacity. Down here is, again, similar filters like we saw with the reverbs, so low cut, high cut. And again, the reason why you want to do that is so that the lead vocal still stands out in its full spectrum of EQ range, and that the reverbs and delays sometimes aren't clouding and muddying up the mix because they're trying to take up safe frequency space. So if you take off some of the bottom and you take off some of the top, a lot of times that allows it to sit in the mix better. And you can see I have it set on single echo, and those are all the different types: dual echo, ping pong, rhythm echo, etc. And then you have this whole list of styles down here, which can kind of give your sound a certain kind of saturation. We're just going to go with the studio tape, which I think is like the stock setting, and it sounds great. It's good. Okay, so let's try to blend it in here. So again, here's too much of this.
All the songs on the radio say.
All right, so let's start blending it in.
All the songs on the radio say you better leave him cold, and I hear them everywhere I go.
And I like that. That allows me to, it's there, but it's subtle. And then here's with the reverbs in as well, so we can hear everything together.
All the songs on the radio say you better leave him cold, and I hear them everywhere I go.
That's great. And again, everything dry.
All the songs on the radio say.
And you just kind of lost that energy. And again, here's with everything wet.
All the songs on the radio say you better leave him cold.
Cool. So that's starting to sound pretty vibey. And the other reverb or delay I wanted to show you guys today is H Delay from, again, the guys over at Waves. I love this plugin. This is a great delay unit. It comes from Waves, and they really nailed it with this one. Just to kind of take you around the plugin real quick. Over here, this is the dry wet knob, and that is almost always going to be 100% on the wet side because, again, I'm bussing it out to a bus. So if I had it on the channel itself, I would probably have it dry and then start working my way back till you start getting some of the effect. But since it's on the bus, it's going to be at 100. Another pro tip on this is it has these analog settings, and if you start adding them in and you hit play, and if I had like some sound coming through here, it will actually give you some hiss, and I don't know if it's going to do it when it's at a dead stop, but take my word for it. It starts bringing an analog hiss, and for me personally, and most of the people I know, they don't like that, so we actually keep it on off. But if you want to keep it on, that's what there's 4 different types of analog hiss to kind of give it a kind of more vintagey delay feel. But for me, I just typically keep it on off, in case anybody was looking at it and was wondering about what was going on there. Over here on the left, this big knob is the different delay times, as we were just talking about. So let's start with just an 1/8 note delay. And then over here is this lo-fi, which is a cool kind of crunch saturation sound, and it kind of does some filtering and some slight kind of distortion sound. And we'll toggle that on and off so you can hear what that sounds like. And then over here, this is just the feedback amount. So whether I wanted to delay like da-da, da-da, and then just kind of go wherever I wanted to keep going like da-da, 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 da-da. And so we'll start it right where it's at. And then over here, this is important. This is this high pass, low pass. Again, same concept as we saw on the Echo Boy, and same thing as we saw on the reverb options with the EMT 140, where you can start cutting up. So I have it here at 225 and 1K, and you're going, man, that's a lot off the top. And yeah, I like it. I like my delays to sound a little bit more filtered. So again, they're just not getting in the way of the vocal. So let's listen to this with the ping pong off. Okay, and I'll solo this.
All the songs on the radio say you better leave him cold.
And you can hear that that is right up the middle. Okay, and if I put ping pong engaged, it's going to start bouncing from on either side.
All the songs on the radio say you better leave him cold.
And you can hear how filtered and everything it sounds. And hell, while we're at it, let's put the lo-fi crunch on there.
All the songs on the radio say you better leave him cold.
And that just gives a little bit more spice and attitude, but it's already pretty filtered. So we'll keep it off right now. It's fine. And you say, okay, well, what's the one to do? What's the one not to do? Well, this is where you get to be creative. There's not a right or a wrong. Like, do I use ping pong here or not? The nice thing about ping pong is it kind of gives you some little magic on either side, some ear candy, as we like to say. But if it's distracting, then maybe you don't want to use it because, again, you know, and this is a great point, and I'm glad I'm thinking about this while I'm talking about it. The focus is her. The focus is not you and your awesome delay skills. You are here to enhance her, or you're here to enhance them, the artist. If the delay enhances them and it does it in a way that is not distracting and that they, or you know, is an approved, like, cool, I really want to hear that delay in that one moment, awesome, I'm all for it. But if you're more worried about, like, man, do you hear the delays I'm using on her voice? And people are like, yeah, all I hear is the damn delays. I don't even know what she's saying. Then, again, that's not really what most people are going for. We want to enhance her. We want to have her sound as great as she can sound without getting in the way. Delays can help enhance, but they can also be super distracting. So let's unsolo here, and we'll start with it at 0, and we'll start blending it in. We'll see how it sounds, and we'll keep it on ping pong. Hell, let's see if we can make it work. and we will keep it as the only delay running, and that is bus 6. And here we go.
All the songs on the radio say you better leave him cold, and I hear them everywhere I go.
So there's a little bit amount. That's kind of about -10.
All the songs on the radio say you better leave him cold, and
I don't hate that. Let's throw everybody in. Let's see how it sounds.
all the songs on the radio say you better leave him cold, and I hear them everywhere I go.
And so I would say overall, if I was to go over here and look at my all 4 elements, another thing that you can do is you could just bus those to like a final effects group. Just call this effects. And then let's say you were happy with how each one sounded individually, then you could come in and just start looking at, maybe I just want all of it to come down a little bit. Like it just feels like a little bit too much across the board.
All the songs on the radio say you better leave him cold, and I hear them everywhere I go.
And that might be the move right there. So now that you're hearing it back, maybe you didn't want it to have, you can control that, or you can automate that. You can do all kinds of crazy stuff. And so that's H delay, and that's Echo Boy, and those are the 2 delays that we wanted to talk about. And and really in a broader conclusion of the effects, that's the reverbs too. And I really do like sending, I do in my mix template, I will send everything to an effects group before it goes out to my stereo bus. And I love having the ability to control them all with one fader. And I really would recommend that if you so choose to follow that example. And again, just to conclude the broader sense, whatever delay or reverb you use, just be careful with it. And the final thing I would say is beware of the soloing thing. So where, man, it sounds like I got way too much reverb soloed, but if you have a big busy mix, sometimes a lot of that really helps, and you need that much to sit in the mix. So don't just worry about how it sounds soloed, worry about how it sounds in the mix overall. Continue to use your ears, and we're going to have a full conclusion on everything in this next video.